Christopher. Good seeing you.
Hey, Colin. You good? How you been? All right? I'm sorry.
Ready. Good afternoon. My name is Tony Vaz. I serve as mayor in Seaside Heights. I'd like to welcome Governor Murphy, members of his cabinet, members of the state legislature, and county officials. Governor, thank you for selecting Seaside Heights today for this initiative that you're putting forth, the 3 laws. It's for the benefit of all people in New Jersey and the quality of life. On a personal note, I'm glad to see you in person. It's been 16 months, but we've been together through those 16 months. On the phone together, text together, email together, but it's great to see you, my friend, in person. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the strong leadership that the governor has. His positive relationship with my community and the people that are here from Seaside Heights. Seaside Heights, raise your hand so the governor knows who you are. It's my honor to introduce my friend, Governor Phil Murphy.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks, man. Great to see you. Great to be with you. What a great. First of all, Tony, thank you for your friendship. I want to come back to that in a second, and for your hosting us so graciously today. And you have literally been there from moment one. I take my hat off to you. Your mayor, along with the First Lady who's here, Chief Tommy Boyd is with us, who's another dear friend. You guys are not just an iconic shore town in New Jersey. I think you're America's iconic shore town. And I know from whence I speak, because I come here a lot. Whether it's the waves, the boardwalk, Central Avenue, the bay on the other side, it's the quintessential square mile of New Jersey and of America. And Tony, I thank you for your friendship and your leadership. Also honored to be here with a whole bunch of other really important folks and leaders, not just on the environment, but on so many other areas. The guy right to my left, whose name is on all of these bills that I'm going to sign today, Senate Environment and Energy Committee Chairman, Senator Bob Smith. Bob, thank you so much for everything. To his left, there's a huge impact on transportation in the state from these bills. To his left, another great leader, Assembly Transportation Committee Chair Dan Benson. Dan, great to have you. We also have Labor Committee Chair in the Assembly, who I signed a bunch of misclassification bills with yesterday, Joe Egan. Great to have you, Joe. And his son Kevin is with us. Kev, great to see you, man. We've got the Assembly Agricultural and Natural Resources Committee Chair from my home county of Monmouth, Eric Hoteling. Eric, great to have you here, buddy. And you don't get into Middlesex County unless you can pronounce Karabinchak. Assemblyman Rob Karabinchak is with us. We also have a couple of leaders on our team. Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection, Sean LaToretta, is with us. The Chief Executive Officer of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan, is in the house. One of the Board of Public Utilities Commissioners, Upendra Chivikula, is with us. Upendra, great to have you with us. Pam Frank is in the house. Pam, great to have you from Charge EVC Coalition. Honored to have you. What happened to Andrew Dick? Where's Andrew? Andrew's in the second row from Electrify America, which have been great leaders in promoting smart policies related to electric vehicles. So Pam and Andrew, thank you both for being here. We're going to hear from a few of the folks I just acknowledged in a couple of minutes because, of course, even though, Tony, it's a Friday on the shore, we're going to have to start with a couple of speeches before I actually go over here to my right and proudly sign 4 bills that will further support our goal of achieving a 100% clean energy economy in New Jersey by the year 2050. Reaching this goal is something that everyone here has been focused on for the past 3.5 years, and for guys like Bob and others for many, many years before that. We've put forward what I would put up against any other state as the most aggressive plan to move away from fossil fuels and toward a future based on clean and renewable energy technologies. From wind turbine component manufacturing to solar energy installation to electric vehicles, we are on our way to putting New Jersey firmly back in our rightful place as a world leader in innovation. And moreover, we know this modernization of our energy sector isn't just going to be good for cleaner air and for our long-term fight against climate change, which it will be. It's going to be even better for our economy, and it will create countless new jobs, overwhelmingly good union jobs. And here I want to take a quick time out. We've got a cavalcade of stars from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers who are with us today. Joe Egan, as I mentioned, Eric Cotaling is with us. I also want to shout out Local 400 business manager and a dear friend, Rob Shimko, is in the house. Rob, great to have you. Local 164 business manager, Danny Gumbel. Danny, where'd you go? I lost you. Danny's here with the shades. Local 269 business manager, Steve Aldrich. Steve, over here. Good to see you, man. And Local 351's Ian Leonard, among others here. So let's hear it for the IBEW who are in the house today. I also had great exchanges this morning with Tom Sullivan, another brother who wanted to be here, and Pat Delacava, both from up north, who send their best wishes. So today we are taking several more big steps forward. Today we are ushering in the next generation of our successful Solar Renewable Energy Certificate program, the so-called SREC 2, to ensure stability in our solar energy marketplace, to provide the financial incentives needed to allow more homeowners and businesses to go solar, and most excitedly to welcome a new frontier as New Jersey expands opportunities for large-scale solar. And today we are honoring our twin commitments to clean energy and our nickname, the Garden State, by standing alongside our farming community in allowing them to responsibly pair productive working farms with clean solar-powered generation. You know, we've talked a lot, I have, about wind energy over the past number of years, and it deserves the amount of airtime it's gotten. But if you look at our clean energy master plan, how we're going to get to that 100% clean energy economy by the middle of this century, it is worth noting that that master plan envisions solar contributing 34%, over 1/3 of our energy by the middle of this century, which makes today's steps even more important. And at the same time, switching gears for a second, today we're making New Jersey an even more welcoming place for the growing numbers of electric vehicles on our roads, with new laws that will streamline local zoning laws so more residents can install charging stations at their homes, and new standards for municipalities to meet in providing charging stations for downtown residents and visitors. It is also a fact, again, we focus on a lot of the other areas in the economy that emit greenhouse gases. Let's keep in mind the transportation sector accounts for 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions today in our state. These new laws taken together in and of themselves aren't going to get us to the 100% clean energy economy. We know that. But there is no one single way for us to get there. Meeting this ambitious goal requires us to think broadly and to find ways to chip away at our fossil fuel addiction, one solar panel and one electric vehicle charging station at a time. I also want to once again thank the legislatures. I want to give Lisa Swain, Annette Quijano, and Ron Dancer a shout out. I was back and forth with them. They could not be with us today. I want to thank legislators here and not with us, our state, county, and local officials who are with us and beyond, because this proves as well that this is a whole of government and whole of New Jersey effort. Clean air and meaningfully doing our part in the fight against climate change is not political, it is existential. Look at the science. There are few states expecting to be as impacted by climate change and by warmer temperatures and rising seas than New Jersey. It is a direct threat not just to our shore communities like Seaside Heights, Tony, but also to our long agricultural history and cherished farming heritage. So let's embrace this moment, and then let's keep pushing forward with new ideas to spur new technologies. And when it's all said and done, my hope is that when future generations look back on what New Jersey has done, they won't ask what took them so long. They will ask what took everyone else so long to emulate New Jersey. Before I want to close, I want to give a mass shout out to the tremendous staffs at the BPU, at the DEP, at the Departments of Agriculture, Community Affairs, the Economic Development Authority, who have worked so well alongside our team and the legislative staffs in crafting these measures. Some have the honor of having their names on these bills, and I have the honor of signing them into law, but it's really the work of so many who got us here. So to them, I say thank you. Again, thank you all for being here. By the way, Elsa was not as bad as we feared, Tony. We have at the moment just under 5,000 outages. Just over half of those look like they're in the JCP&L area, but that number's been coming down. Literally, it shrank by 1,000 in the hour in the truck coming here. And so this thing could have been worse. My guess is it won't be the last of the season. Thank you again for hosting me, as always, Tony, First Lady, Chief, everyone else here from Seaside Heights so graciously. Bless you all. It is now my great honor to introduce the chair of the Senate Environment and Energy Committee, one of the state's biggest, earliest champions for solar energy on the environment more generally, dear friend, Senator Bob Smith.
Appreciate it. What a great day for New Jersey. Not a close call. Really, really great. Now, why is it really, really great? Because, and we don't say it often enough, we are on the cusp of becoming pieces of bacon. The global climate change thing is real. It's not baloney. Look around the planet. Look at what's happening to the poles. Look at Australia burning down. Look at half of the country burning down. Look at the 15 inches of rain that landed on top of the United States from Alabama up to the East Coast. We've got major, major problems. And I will say to you that this administration, this governor, is greener than the green monster. I mean, they do the trick. And Governor, no matter how much you're paying Paulina and Justin, it's not enough. All right? They put up with all us crazy legislators to help get the job done. And by the way, I should also mention our OLS staff, who are fabulous. Carrie Ann on the assembly side, and Eric Jensen, and a couple other really wonderful people. On the Democratic side, Keval Duhan and Matt Peterson. Super people. They make all of us look good because they work so hard. And I think they do so because their heart is in it. Now, that being said, we've got this existential problem. What we hear from the experts is that you have a very limited time to get this right, and that one of the biggest sources of our climate change gases is transportation. So we got to get really good sources of solar and wind, and we got to get it into cars. And I assume that's the reason for the backdrop here. If you take a look behind me, you see some really nice charging stations. So these bills are aimed to do that. Number one, there's a bill in there on charging infrastructure, which Dan Benson and a whole bunch of his assembly colleagues greatly improved. But what it does is it streamlines the local planning and zoning process. It makes charging infrastructure a permitted accessory use in all zones. And it sets up a process through the zoning department where you don't have to go to a planning board and zoning board. And that's not a great thing. I'm a planning and zoning lawyer. I make too much money representing clients in front of planning and zoning boards. We need to accelerate that process. So that's a really fabulous thing. And then two things that the governor is going to sign on to is what's called dual-use solar and grid-scale solar. And let me tell you about that. Dual-use solar, we're keeping our farms farming, and we're farming electrons as well. And the difference is the panels are 12 feet high as opposed to close to the ground. They're a little bit more spread apart, and you use a farm now for two purposes. So graze cattle, grow berries, do whatever you want underneath, and at the same time generate clean solar electricity. We have the Department of Agriculture on board, and the Department of Agriculture was the steward of their of that area of the state's activities. They wanted to make sure it was done right. So we have a 3-year pilot program. It's going to generate 200 megs of electricity, which is not huge, but it's pretty big. You know, it's a really good start. And at the same time, Rutgers University is being asked to do research for the farmers. And the research is what works well under North Jersey farms and on South Jersey farms. So we expect to see this a bigger and bigger thing. Grid scale solar is just as the name implies. It's big solar. We're talking lots of solar. And here the question was, on what farms or open space would you allow this? We came to a very fair compromise with the Department of Agriculture. It ends up out of the 700,000 or 800,000 acres. We're going to allow 4,000 acres to be used for this purpose, which is going to get us lots and lots of megs of solar. So these bills are fantastic. And the governor a year and a half ago signed our EV initiative, which puts together a $300 million pot, $30 million a year for 10 years, where we help buyers to buy EV cars and help to get more infrastructure out in New Jersey so that people don't have range anxiety. So, in a nutshell, I participate in environmental legislative groups around the country, and when we report in every quarter, guess who's got the best scorecard? The greenest governor in the United States of America, and New Jersey, which is very fastly becoming the greenest state in the United States of America. So let me thank everyone. Raise their salaries, by the way, too. Let me thank everyone for a really stupendous effort in trying to get us, and especially down the shore, and I'm one of you, I have a house in Lavalette, getting us out of harm's way. We've got to solve the global climate change, and this is a major way toward that step. So congratulations, Governor. Congratulations to all the legislators that participated. Let's go get them. I understand we're going to have rules in 15 to 30 days from the BPU, which is light speed. So let's get her done.
Thank you, Bob. Well done. I assume some member of my staff slipped you a 20 to mention that, not just once, but twice, that they needed more money. So I'm going to talk to Paulina afterward. Bob, we wouldn't be here without you, period. And by the way, the EV reality, I remember you and I had a conversation now going back a couple of years. At the time of the conversation, we were number 7 in number of EVs, electric vehicles on the road, but number 49 on infrastructure, on charging stations. And so we're now, and we said that gap's got to close, but it's got to close the right way. We're also busting the myth that that you used to hear a lot about, that a clean economy and a green economy was bad, that you couldn't create jobs and have a green economy. And with the presence of so many of the leadership of the IBEW here today, we're busting that myth right between the eyes. Next up to bat, and Dan, it is not something you said. I have realized I need to put some sunscreen on. So when you come up to speak, I'm walking on my truck, and I'll be right back, I promise you. But it takes leadership, it takes a village, it takes, in this case, both chambers, and there isn't a better leader in the Assembly, and there are many of them here today, than Chairman Dan Benson. Dan, come on down.
From one Irish guy to another, please bring some sunscreen back for me. Today's a special day, not just because we're signing this legislation, it's my son's 6th birthday. And when I want to think about what type of future we want to leave to our children, I want it to be greener and cleaner, one that is brighter, not just from the sun, but from the ground up, because we're building a better economy, as the governor so often talks about in his leadership. A year ago, he signed the EV legislation to put incentives and to set really aggressive goals to get us where we need to be. But my concern, as you heard, we were 49th in infrastructure. So how do we get from 49th back into that top 10, just as we are in purchases? Well, we do that by putting an EV bill for siting together, even when all the stars aligned. And this is where, groups like Charge EVC and my friend Andrew Dick from Electrify America, when I sat down with Andrew, he talked about, we have private sector money. This isn't public dollars. This is our own money. When all the stars align, you have a town that wants the station. You have a site that you've located. It still can take you up to 6 months to get the job done. That's not acceptable. And so working with, can I say mentor, Senator Smith? When I was a 20-something-year-old working at Rutgers at the Center for Energy Policy, there was two people I got to meet very early on, Senator Bob Smith and then Assemblyman Pendra Shivakula, now Commissioner. And they took me under their wing early on to talk about not only how we have to make New Jersey a better place, and they've been doing it every single day, but how to get the job done legislatively. So when I had the privilege of joining my colleagues, and we have three amazing chairs and amazing colleagues here that the governor introduced, I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention, since we have so many IBW here, my running mate and my district mate, Wayne D'Angelo from Local 269, chair of the ATU committee. Really, we want to get this job done. So when I heard it took 6 months sometimes to get things when everybody agreed, I knew we had to act. So working with Senator Smith, we put together, and many of my colleagues, Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, we put together a bill that streamlines the zoning process and the permitting process, but just as important, that says parking lots like this, much of the cost is retrofitting for this. While we look for the next generation of charging stations, we shouldn't have to dig up every parking lot. So when we have a new parking lot being built, every one of those now will have the conduit and the wiring to be able to install the next set of chargers. And more importantly, we're going to have mandates for charging stations over the next 10 years in residential communities, because we know much of charging happens at home. And if there isn't a charging station where you live, you're not going to buy an EV vehicle. So we set some amazing goals because of the great work of activists and folks here in this area here. We're going to get the job done. And now that you're back and you look definitely not bacon, as Senator Smith said, I know, I'm going to say it again too, the greenest governor. And not green for green's sake, it's for jobs. And I love that we have IBW here, and I see all the residents from Seaside Heights, because we are setting that great future for folks like my 6-year-old to make sure that when they grow up, we have the solar, we have wind, and we have a transportation industry that's fighting climate change, not contributing to it. So thank you, Governor. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to signing.
Thank you. Thanks for ripping. Let me get my... Dan, thank you. Deep appreciation also for giving me a minute or two to jump on the truck and cover my Irish skin. I'm glad you mentioned Wayne D'Angelo, because I had meant to. Wayne wanted to be here, another great member of the IBEW and a great legislator as well. By the way, I hope Chevrolet's paying attention. This is like a free commercial for them and General Motors here, right? Good Lord. With that, please, I mentioned her earlier, and she has been at the forefront of the fight to get our state into the best shape possible for electric vehicles. Please help me welcome the CEO of Charge EVC NJ, Pam Frank.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So on a trip to Italy, my sister brought me back this necklace. It reminded her of the time turner Harry Potter's Hermione receives from Dumbledore. So she can be in two places at once. See, Hermione had a heavy course load, and she was a real classic overachiever. She's also my favorite Harry Potter character. So I thought I could use it perhaps today, turn back the time to 2002, when I was in the room where it happened. Are you sensing a theme? And we were discussing solar goals for the state of New Jersey. We thought 90 megawatts over the period of 18 years was a moonshot. Today, in this bill about to become law, S2605, we're calling for a minimum of 750 megawatts. Mind you, that's not over 18 years. That's each year. 6 years ago, in 2015, my colleagues and I were at the Jersey Shore, and we decided it was go time on electric vehicles. We had no public charging stations, and we had about 2,000 electric vehicles on the road. Now, in law, thank you all, we are reaching for 330,000 electric vehicles by 2025, a mere 4 years from now. Today, we have about 41,000 of these cars on the road. So we should all take a minute to just sit with the increasing pace of change, because it's a bit mind-blowing. Our governor understands that the aggressive and thoughtful pursuit of clean energy and the economy in New Jersey will be the rising tide that lifts all boats. And importantly, in the name of fairness and in the name of decency, the governor recognizes for that so many generations, so many of our boats have never even left the shore. Putting his vision together with the leadership of these two men, Senator Smith and Assemblyman Benson, means a lot is happening. Witness today. And I promise you there is a lot more to come. I want to highlight the example of S3223, a bill that is technical in nature, and it may not capture the imagination, but it should, because it's nation leading and it removes a primary obstacle to reaching our emissions and economic goals, getting charging structure in the ground. You see, the build it and they will come line is deeply relevant. So we understand that most of New Jersey drivers will not consider an electric vehicle until they can see charging infrastructure out and around. The dreaded syndrome known as range anxiety, for which there is a known cure. Before this bill about to become law, New Jersey was at the bottom of the barrel on the time it took for charging infrastructure to be built and operational. And as we all understand, the carbon emissions and the toxic air emissions don't wait. They just keep rising. So we're walking and chewing gum at the same time. We're doing the work to get the cars, trucks, buses, and bikes, all things with wheels on the road, and ensuring the other side of the equation, the infrastructure, to power all of this and build it quickly and build it affordably. All of these men sitting to my left understand this challenge, and the process of getting this particular bill to the governor's desk was by necessity highly collaborative, involving discussions with many stakeholders, many state departments, the governor's staff, and legislators. And it's hard work. It takes leadership, persistence, grit, and all the while keeping your eye on the prize. The result is we're here today. I'll note that all of these bills passed with strong support from both parties. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Senator Smith, Assemblyman Benson. This Jersey girl believes in our leadership, believes in our state, and I anticipate a great, cleaner, and fairer day ahead for all of us. And thanks for having me speak today.
Pam, I love that. I love those remarks. Thank you so much. Those were incredible remarks, and I have to say, Pam, you put it both the historical context around what we're doing today and also highlighted the rate of change. The rate of change is astronomical right now. So hats off to you. We're not here to talk about NJ Transit, but one other weapon that we've got here in terms of climate change is to get NJ Transit fixed and as green as possible so that folks have confidence that they can get to where they're going on time and safely, and they can perhaps leave their car at home. So with that, I have the great honor to step to my right. I don't think you need all the hygienics. I think we're good unless you have a personal reason to do that, Matt. And I'm going to sign each of these 4 bills into law. Matt Stanishi, Councilman Matt Stanishi, will make sure you get the pens delivered to you. You please come on down. Let's go. These pens are really hot. I have a hard time.
Block the sun for you, don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, these are real. I'm not sure I can hold this in my hand long enough to sign the darn bill, but
Keep it in the cooler next time.
I think you guys are getting one. I may actually borrow that. So this is the money shot. I can't see a thing, but this is the money shot. So.
I can see steam coming off that pen.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll get the.
Are you feeling the love?
I'm feeling the love and the heat.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that was a good suggestion, Bob. That was my bad. So first bill, 3223 Senate, sponsored by a whole host of folks, including this guy to my left at the top of the list, Senator Bob Smith. And the synopsis on this bill is it establishes numerical requirements and zoning standards for installation of electric vehicle supply equipment and make-ready parking spaces. As Dan said, there's no reason to go and reinvent the wheel and dig up a parking space every single time. Well, let's do it in advance. First up to bat is our host today, a dear friend, the mayor of the great city of Seaside Heights, Tony Vaz. Tony, bless you,
Governor,
man.
thank you.
Great to have you and the First Lady and the Chief with us. Oh, jeez. I gotta find
Gloves.
honestly, I gotta put
Want those gloves?
honest, I may take the hygiene gloves back.
You mad?
Matt, I'm not kidding you. I think I need the glove. Yeah. Hi, Dave Pringle. How are you? I didn't see you there. Thank you. I'll take the used if you. Oh, look at you. Very smart. Give me more?
Good thinking.
Oh,
Man, he's got a whole. Oh, you
man.
don't
Look
have to worry.
at you.
And whatever you're paying him, he needs more.
Well, look at that. Okay. So we just, Matt, that was great. You didn't have to slip Senator Smith a 20 for that one. That was right in front of all of us. The ninth, right?
Yes.
Second pen to the guy I just mentioned. We wouldn't be here without him. Senator and Chairman Bob Smith. Bob, thank you, man. Okay. Next up is Assembly Bill 1653, and the synopsis of that bill encourages development of zero-emission vehicle fueling and charging infrastructure in redevelopment projects. We heard from him a few minutes ago, a great leader in the Assembly, Chairman and Assemblyman Dan Benson. Dan, where are you? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Next up to bat, she just spoke, and I thought put this in a context that was really, really impressive. CEO of Charge EVC NJ, Pam Frank is in the house. Pam, thank you. Congratulations. Great work. Next up, we have Assembly Bill number 4554. Lots of sponsors. Rob, I see your name on this one. Let's see if we get your, use this one for you. And the synopsis is establishing successor program. This is a big one, to Solar Renewable Energy Certificate Program in the BPU, including solicitation process for certain solar power generation facilities. Oops, sorry. Assemblyman, the aforementioned Rob Charvich,
Thank
right
you,
here
thank you,
with
Governor.
the
Thank
shades on. I didn't recognize you. Given this has a BPU element, I want to give this one to Upendra Chivakula, one of the great commissioners of the Board of Public Utilities. Upendra, good job. Oh, you see that, Bob? Assembly Bill 5434, the synopsis establishes dual-use solar project pilot program for unpreserved farmland, allows land use for dual-use solar project to be eligible for farmland assessment under certain conditions. Lots of good sponsors, including Eric Hoteling, his name on this bill. Eric, God bless you. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, Governor.
Well done. Representing both
you.
the Assembly as well as his brothers and sisters in the IBEW. Department of Environmental Protection Commissioner Sean LaTourette. Sean, well done, buddy. Thank you. I see Joe over there. I'm going to call an audible here. The CEO of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan. Tim, congratulations, buddy. And I can't ask that Joe Egan would come all the way down from Middlesex County and not give him a pen. So, Joe, God bless you. That's for you, man. So these are, I am happy to say, with surrounded by incredibly important folks who helped us get over the goal line. These are now the law of the land. Thank you all so much. We'll do a group shot, is that all right?
Feels good.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah, that feels good. Wait one more sec here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Put it back
Thank you so
up.
much, Governor.
Thanks, guys.
Very nice. More good stuff.